in there that help for allergies, but
all right, we'll start now. Good afternoon. Welcome to the first Creative Conversations on the exhibition, The Human Spirit. And, good afternoon and welcome to all the friends here. My name is Christine Michael, and I'm honored to be the co-curator of this exhibition, The Human Spirit, with Mulim Park. Can I have a wave from Mulim, please, from your room in Korea? Mulim is based in Seoul, and we have done this for the lnKo Center, Chennai. For those of you meeting me for the first time, I am an artist, an arts educator, a teacher, curator, writer, and researcher based in Delhi. To introduce Mulim, we are extremely honored to be working with him for this show. He first studied at Hongik University and also the California Institute of Arts, and has participated in both solo and group shows, as well as workshops, conferences, and also residencies in Japan, Korea, and also Germany. He has curated several exhibitions before this in Seoul, in Singapore, Eindhoven, to a lot of critical acclaim. As an arts administrator, he has been involved with the Mule Art Space, with the Junggu Cultural Foundation, Seoul Artist Platform, the Alternative Gallery Space, and Art Space Seoul 13, amongst others. Thank you, Mulim, for being such a great team member with me to bring this show together. My thanks and deepest appreciation also go to Rati Jafar of lnKo Center, Chennai, and her incredible team of Vail, Gail, Raghu, and Studio RDA, who have really put themselves out for supporting us at this exhibition. I'm also very grateful for the support that lnKo Center has given to me personally and the arts over the past few years. I have curated with their support 2 earlier Indo-Korean ceramic exhibitions, one in 2006 called the Earth Synergy, and in 2012, Transitions Tradition. In 2007, I was invited as a participant and a guest speaker for Skin of Asia, 4th World Ceramics Biennale at Icheon. And I also lectured at the Social Realism of Asia conference at the Museum of Contemporary Art in Seoul. So my thanks and welcome to all our artists here, and you can see them all in those small images, to all our artists here who have been with us today. And thank you, all of you, for the synergy and the resonance and the energy that you all have put into your works in order to make this exhibition incredible. Thank you so much. So some housekeeping notes. Please keep your audio and cameras off now during the presentation. Kindly use the chat to record any observations and the questions you may have, and we will take these up at the end of the presentation. Now, to sort of start off, I will first explain very briefly about the overall curatorial note, and then we'll ask the artists to share their thoughts and also their processes. So this exhibition looks at the artistic interpretations of the concept of the resilience of the human spirit, especially post-COVID pandemic, through the mediums of ceramics and glass. And we thought that these were extremely pertinent because both materials are transformed through fire into new states of being. So we invited the Indian and the Korean artists to consider what the human spirit is and the idea of resilience meant to them in the COVID pandemic experience, and to look at what this might open up for them in terms of creative, in terms of temporal, material, sensorial provocations. And we encourage them to examine the metaphor of rejuvenation, of transformation, fluidity, and permeability as attributes of both these mediums through their figurative work, their abstract, and also natural forms works. And you will see this through the entire exhibition. So each of the propositions that you'll see explored in these sections, which became each of the online viewing rooms, grew organically out of their artistic concerns. And these eventually became the core theme for each of the 6 online viewing rooms. Now, I'll go through them very briefly here, just so that you get an overview of what the exhibition is all about. And I hope that you will all then go later to the link and spend more time viewing it. So the first proposition, the first room, digs deep into the concept of the space between the tangible and the intangible, and focuses on the materiality of place and home, and the capturing of images of daily experiences and also memories, as seen in the works by Hoo Jun-yoon and also Tripty Patel. The regenerative capacities within the Earth's natural cycles is explored through the works of Srila Mukherjee and Lee Tae-hoon. Next slide, please. So the second proposition, which is the second room, speaks eloquently of the anchoring and the disconnection between nature and man. The glass artworks of Oh Jung-sun, Swagata Naidu, and also Shishir Sahana and Studio Classic shape this idea through the expressive qualities, the use of these qualities of transparency, fluidity, and the exquisite brilliance of glass that aptly expresses this entire relationship. The ceramic figurative works of Lee Jae-jun, Kang Kyun-yoon, and also Madhur Sen speaks of this need to recover the right relationship between mankind and the natural world. Change of slide, please. The contemplation and the investigation of a punctuated reality. Can we have a change of slide, please, Will? Yes, thank you. This was the impetus for the formation of the third proposition, Working on distorted images of artifacts and man-made objects, the works of Ri In-suk and Choi Hai-suk examine the message of impermanence. Jung Kwang-min's ripple-shaped waves of glass resemble layers of sound waves caused by erosion, and these echo Dipali Darose's material manifestations of these redundant, broken objects that suggest collective helplessness and the importance of self-questioning. Change of slide, please, Vail. The aspirational ray of hope that emerges out of these occasional cracks of luminosity is the fourth proposition on the struggle to survive. The inquiry into concepts of duality infuse the works in glass of Jung Kwang Min, of Swagata Naidu, and also Srila Mukherjee, as well as in Ri In-suk's urban jungle. Studio Classic's metaphor of Atlas dreaming of flight, though bound by the weight of existence, finds an echo in the ceramic figures of Madhur Sen that speak eloquently of the plight of the underprivileged dealing with an uncertain future. Change of slide, please. Kang Kyung-yoon's installation is the key expression, the lyrical, poetic expression of the movement of emotions in a contemplative state for the fifth proposition, which is the metamorphosis of self. The location of the context of memory and also the reality of home is the subject of the ceramic works of both Hu Jung-yun and also Tripty Patel. Madhur Sen, Shishir Sahana, and Oh Jung-sun's questioning of mankind's vision through the medium of glass is a metaphor for this quest of a fresh dialogue. Slide change, please. The last proposition explores resilience as a strength and also a vulnerability in the search towards a beautiful, precarious coexistence. Jung Kwang Min, Sisir Sahana, and Srila Mukherjee's glass artworks evoke the budding of a new age with old seeds, using the translucent nature of glass interacting with light. Also referencing the building blocks of the concept of the yin and the yang, Jung Kwang Min visualizes this move towards his depiction of a new relationship with nature, just as Thomas Louis calls for translating one's weaknesses into a strength by protecting the precious little we have left and nurturing one's immediate environment by becoming guardian spirits of the earth. Kang Kyung-yoon's dreamlike installation beckons the audience finally to grasp the positive messages of healing, growth, and also renewal in these artistic interpretations of courage for the future. So that is our exhibition. So I would now like to invite Mulim Park to introduce the glass Korean artists and for them to share their thoughts, ideas, and processes. Over to you, Mulim, please. And can we have the next slide, please, Vail? Mulim, over to you.
Okay, it's okay to hear my voice?
Yes, yes.
Okay, yeah, let's try. First of all, I'm gonna introduce Lee Tae-hoon and then Oh Jung-sun. Wait a second. Especially Tae-hoon is based on the fine art, and then now he focused on glass working, and then he run the 1,200 point glass studio, and then he doing he presented two artworks showing the wave as a basket, and then also Oh Jung-sun, she graduated from Ewha and then Rhode Island in USA, and she mostly showing the installation work by glass, and she's showing the another way of the assimilation, the thing you can see when you have a moment. And last one, union of the little things. Okay, let's see the Itaeon's video, and then he can speak about his work. Now, can speak out first, and then we can translate his statement. 자, 시작해 주시죠.
Yeah. My work begins with the illustration of small glass trees, a little different from basket weaving. The pattern made by repeating glass thread pulling several times and recombining them is similar to a basket made mainly of practically of a ball made by bamboo and tying them deep in a round shape, but the meaning is different. This video is different. My work. This video making a glass goblet. I think about the visibility of new patterns and images created in a series of processes of picking up colored glass, pulling out glass trees, collecting them, re-pulling them, twist them, and blowing them. The thin glass trees in my head come together again and are completed in the form of a basket including my feelings. The glass basket I make is not simply a basket that means putting something in, but a basket that includes my feelings to bring thought into reality and embody the shape. In other words, my basket is a symbolic ball that includes my thought. Thank you. Usually I work 3 or 4 people.
Anyone has a question about his work? I can just say something and then. So handsome guy, right?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next video is about Oh Jong-sung. Okay. 준비되셨나요?
네,
네, 말씀해 주시죠. 이제.
네. Hello, this is Jong-sun Oh. I was majored in sculpture and also glass making. And my work explores the idea of vision and the physical and conceptual mechanisms that extend it. By combining the potential for transparency and reflection in a space, I can experience a wider optical refractions, boundaries, double-sided, and extended viewpoints that affect communication in our daily life. With my work, I want to introduce multiple perceptions by allowing people to see things from a different point of view. By creating things, I change their meaning and reveal the hidden space. My work begins with me in my circumstances. I manipulate my observations in various ways so that elements of communication are an extension of these notions. Depending on one's perception, even though they see same things or having similar experience, they accept that differently. When you travel to a new area, even very ordinary scenes looks very differently. Also, when a patient recovers from a long illness, the world he or she encounters is no longer same as before. I also look at the world with the gauges of convalescent patient or traveler. You can meet the insignificant, very trivial, and even feeble things such as raindrop, evening glow, and the color of a specific moment through my following works.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. Next showing Jung Kwang-min and Chae Hyun-suk. Jung Kwang-min mostly working on mandala. He's based on fine art, and now he focused on glass art, and he majoring the mandala concept, and now okay. And the next, Chae Hyun-suk, she graduated from Hongik University and then studied in Rochester Institute of Technology, and then she presented the leads of the early 21st century perfume bottle. So first of all, we can show you the Jung Kwang-min's film, and then now
예, 그렇습니다. 바로 생각해 주시면 그대로 읽어요.
So I will be translating on behalf of the artist. So to provide you with a brief explanation, my works are similar to the Zen mandala, which is a type of art produced by Tibet monks.
시험 먼저 얘기해요. 어디까지 하셨어요? 처음부터 할게요. 유리 만다라 작업을 하고 있는 정광민입니다. 제 작업 방식이 티베트 센터 만다라 닮아 있어 유리 만다라라고 표현하고 있습니다.
So my name is Jung Kwang-min, and I use art to create these works of art. And my method is similar to Zen mandala, so I call them glass mandala.
티베트 센터 만다라하고 차이점이 있다면 모래 대신에 유리판 위에 유리가루를 뿌려서 작업한 후에 가마에 넣어 고정한다는 차이점이 있습니다.
So the difference from the Zen mandalas in Tibet is that I use glass instead of sand.
기본적인 작업 방식이 티베트 센터 만다라와 같아가지고 작업 자체가 하나의 명상과도 같습니다.
But nevertheless, the basic method is the same. Thus, my process is like meditation.
요즘은 방식을 좀 더 확장해서 유리가루를 이용한 다양한 시도를 하고 있습니다.
These days, I have been expanding upon my previous method to involve various ways of using the glass dust.
현재 보고 계시는 블룸은 작업은 기본적인 센터 만다라 방식으로 제작되었고,
So the work that you are seeing presently is called Blue Moon, and it was made in such a method that I had introduced earlier.
소리의 형태와 메트로폴리스 작업은 유리가루를 여러 개 쌓은 방식으로 제작됐습니다.
The other works, Shapes of Sound and Metropolis, were created using the method of layering the fine glass dust and using vacuum cleaner to create lines on the surface.
그리고 다시 만난 세계 연작은 기존의 작업한 것을 두 장을 겹쳐가지고 완전히 녹이는 형태로 일반적인 유리 작업의 그 질감을 갖게 한 작업입니다.
And finally, the work called Reunion combined the two works and melted them together. This results in two surfaces that have smooth feel of glass.
감사합니다.
Thank you. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
끝까지 보시면 돼요. 제일 담아요.
Okay. Next one is 재해숙. 준비됐나요? Now I'm wearing 재해숙, and let's she's not here. Okay.
So since the artist is absent today, the translator will be describing her work on behalf of the artist. So here is the artwork description. So carrying luxurious purses or wearing high heels for women in today's society has become a means not only to completely transform an outfit for the better, but also to provide a boost to self-confidence. Although with high heels, women have to undergo pain in their feet. Ordinary female items such as purses, shoes, and perfume are a vehicle to reflect an obsession with outward appearance, and how women in this era define themselves with the use of those items that are derived from the modern standard of beauty created by society. The concept of my work is relics. A relic is defined as a remnant of something left after decay or that which has survived from an earlier era or from history. I try to think about what would be a typical element of female beauty of this modern era as viewed from a distant future. I think that the most representative items of beauty would be luxury goods, particularly purses. It reflects on how young women are obsessed with famous designer goods to enhance their external appearance. I think a perfume is also one of these ordinary items as a way to look and feel better. With glass casting technique and framework, I created an old perfume bottle with broken edges, which makes the work seem like a relic, which appear as a remnant from the distant past. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll now move on to sharing about the Indian glass artists. So the first person, Srila Mukherjee, is a senior artist. Unfortunately, she couldn't be with us today. COVID has struck her, but she trained at the NID, and she has worked at the design studio Pentic in Finland with Anthony Stern and at the Glass House in London. She is the founder of Akriti Studio, Calcutta, which is the first hot glass studio. And, you know, proudly she says that she has sourced all of her sort of materials and equipment here in India. She teaches glass as a visiting faculty at the NID and is responsible for the introduction of contemporary glass design in India. She is also founder member and partner of Afsa Fired Art, as well as the Indo-Swedish Glass Samband. Can we see her film, please, Vil? Can you put on her film? Right. So while the film is on and showing her work processes in her studio, I'll just go on with her artist statement. She has held over 13 solo exhibitions of her work in India and also Sweden. In her artist statement, she says that her work is inspired by her passion for both functional art and also the vessel form. She says it is a creative combination of form with function, craft with art, which she feels ultimately becomes a part of our everyday lives, bringing with it beauty. And the vessel form is one that she has constantly worked with over the years. And for her, it exists as a metaphor to hold and to contain, and is a vehicle to bring to expression her ideas and feelings as an artist. So we'll just see this film, which shows us how she works in her studio.
You started it?
Thank you, Vil. Can we move now to Sisir's film, please? Okay, so moving on, Sisir Sahana is our senior artist who has worked in glass for many, many years. He first studied painting at Shanti Niketan and stained glass from Central St. Martin's, London. He has held over 35 solo exhibitions in India and internationally. He has been on many residencies at the Creative Glass Center and at the Pittsburgh Glass Center, USA. He is also a documentary filmmaker on the lives of artists and has won many awards on this, and currently teaches at the Kala Bhawan, Shanti Niketan. So I would like to ask him now, please, to share your thoughts about your concepts and your processes.
Hi, I am Shishir. Actually, my experience changes in time to time. Accordingly, my artwork and the content and subjectivity of the artworks change. So it is not fixed. So as I experience or perceive myself within the surrounding, within the environment, in the carrying on life. So with that experience, I keep on changing the subjectivity, and depending on that, I choose the technology also, because I always believe that technique and content should match together. So in every technique, every subject cannot be expressed properly. So accordingly, I make sometimes translucent, sometimes transparent, sometimes some images are embedded within the artwork itself. So that's how my technology changes according to my perception and the subjectivity. So I mostly react to my society, surrounding societies where human being, animals are struggling to survive. Especially I am from a village background, and I I am a son of a farmer, so I still react to my farming life when I was doing in my childhood, and still I carry on the life and struggle faced by our bullocks, our farmers, our villagers, and I try to express them in my glass in different forms and expressions. So this is how I do work. And latest series, I worked with some old seeds where I wanted to show that the seeds which grow within the soil, it never ends. It keeps growing within ourselves and in the nature. So that's how the life in the nature is still continuing and it grows. So it is within the nature. Nature means even human being also is a part of the nature. So that's how I have reflected my expressions within the medium of glass in various forms and technologies using the science of glass. So this is how it is, and I believe my works are self-explanatory and people would understand by seeing them. Thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
so much, Shishir. I have a feeling that your film got stuck, so we'll try and play it again a little later. So our next artist, Swagata Naidu, is the head of ceramic and glass design. Oh, wait a minute. Shishir's film is back on again? Okay, lovely. Let's just see this. There he is. Would you like to explain a little bit while this is going on, Shishir?
Yes, sometimes I make the pieces in clay, then mold them in plaster, then again fuse glasses, and the colored glasses also I fuse along with the clear glasses. And sometimes these are all fusing technique I have used with the same metaphor and subjectivity which I explained. And sometimes I do mix various technologies like fusing, slumping, casting together. In three techniques together give me a greater dimensions to my work. Like this one is having old seeds. So molded, fusing, casting, and slumping. 3-4 techniques are combined in one piece of glass.
Thank you so much, Shishir. Okay, moving on to our next artist, Swagata Naidu. As I said, she's the head of ceramic and glass at the NID. Her interest and focus is on the materials, techniques, science, design process, the socio-cultural and economic relevance of craft practice. Her entire experience comes from working in different domains with a wide variety of people and context over the last decade. Her practice is rooted in working with craft communities, architecture, education, and quite recently, art. If we'll see her film, she was not able to be here today, but we can show her film, please. Swagata. Thank you. In her artist statement, she says that while we celebrate hope and the human survival instinct in the face of a catastrophe, we need to honestly assess where we went wrong and how the blessings of nature can be respected, protected, and restored against the irreversible damage that human greed has brought us. Her works are made with the remarkable glass flamework artisans of UP Firozabad. Thank you so much. So now we move on to Studio Classic. And can I ask Anita and also Manoj to please put on their cameras. Thank you so much. They are the founders of Studio Classic, a very young glass design company, and both also studied at the NID. And Studio Classic has had many private commissions for offices, etc., around the country. So I would like to ask them, please, to share their artist statements and their concepts and processes. Thank you. Vinita, over to you.
Yes. Insects are central to our work. They are the medium of our conversations. The dragonfly, the ant, the bees, their intrinsic characters and behaviors form essential part of our narratives. We work with the glass artisans of Purdalnagar and Firozabad in Uttar Pradesh, state of India. They make glass beads and forms through flame working and furnace techniques. We sculpt the metal bodies of insects in brass using sheets and wires. These are hammered and bent into forms and joined through soldering techniques. The series of artworks are expressions on resilience leading to metamorphosis for our experiences through different phases of the pandemic. From all the chaos caused by the pandemic to the surface emerged immense beauty of individuals. It is the individuals who showed strength. They took the lead, formed communities, and helped each other for the very purpose of life. And like the bees feed on the nectar of flowers and pollinate, spreading life, resilience to us is our ability to unite when the time comes calling. During the second wave of the COVID in India, we saw the failures of our systems. There was no oxygen in hospital or space for pyres in cremation grounds. Phoenix is based on these traumatic imageries of extreme helplessness and suffocation, and that we are rising from the ashes of these losses. The world locked down, and in the absence of any means of escape, in face of its fears, drowned in the weight of its existence, Atlas continues to fight, gathering every scrap of strength each single day it tries to fly. This is what we express through our art series of artworks. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Vinita, Manoj. Thank you so much. We'll now move to sharing about the Korean ceramic artist. Mulim, over to you again, please. You're on mute.
Okay, it's okay. Now I'm introduce Hwa Jae-eun and then Lee Jae-jun. And first of all, Hwa Jae-eun is focus on installation work, and then she graduated from Hongik University, and she doing the piece by piece work, and also Lee Jae-jun is Jae-jun presented the work as a relationship number one, number two, and he now focused on the ceramic cut, and he lecturing many university. Now I can let's see the Jones film first. Okay.
안녕하세요, 허정입니다.
Hi, my name is Ho Jong-min, and I'll be speaking about my work.
삶의 순간은 끊임없이 순환하는 이미지의 중점이라고 생각합니다. 저는 과거와 현재 일상의 모든 순간에 채집되는 이미지를 표현하고 있고, 이렇게 구현된 이미지들은 서로 상관이 없어 보이는 현재와 과거, 현실과 비현실 간의 경계를 넘어 재생산되고 확장된 영역을 형성하게 됩니다.
So I personally think that all moments in life are an overlap of endlessly circulating images. Through my works, I express these images that are collective from the past and present, as well as the moments from everyday life.
나는 끊임없이 생성되고 순환하는 세상 속의 삶을 대한 생각을 갖게 되었고, 작업의 주된 소재로 되는 집과 식물은 유지되고 변형되는 관계를 담기에 가장 적절하고 상징적인 자체입니다.
These images are then reconstructed and constitute an expanded territory that encompasses and transcends areas that are previously unrelated. So, for instance, the present and the past were reality and unreality. I thought that I live in a world where images are perpetually produced and circulated. Thus, the house and plants, which are my main objects of expression, are an appropriate and symbolic instrument to portray an evolving relationship.
내가 작업을 통해 보여주는 이상적인 그리고 누구나 꿈꿔볼 수 있는 환상적인 장면은 존재하는 모든 물건을 드러내는 식으로, 그리고 맺어지는 모든 관계를 식물과 여러 가지 미적 형태로 표현하고 있습니다.
I portray idealistic, fantastical scenes through my work. These are scenes that anyone can dream of, and they use the notion of the house to holistically represent all existing types of space. Also, they use plants to express the organic nature of all relationships that are formed.
흙을 사용하는 작업은 재료가 가져야 되는 필연적인 과정, 성형 후에 건조를 하고 건조하는 모든 과정을 거쳐야 하는데, 재료적인 필요는 인정하지만 작가가 이미 머릿속에 가지고 있는 완성된 이미지는 그 과정을 거치는 시간 동안 정체된 채로 기다려야 하고, 즉각스럽게 떠오른 다른 형상을 미치게 되는 일이라 전통적인 제작 과정의 시간적 문제를 극복할 수 있는 방법을 찾게 되었습니다.
Due to the nature of soil, when you use it, you have to go through the process of drying it and then firing it. However, this entails waiting for a long period of time. And even when the artist has a newly formed idea or concept in her head, she cannot apply it to the work. Thus, I had to find an alternative way to overcome this problem.
한 작업으로 오려내거나 통째로 작업하면 첫 번째 이미지를 오려내고 거기에서 확인된 형태를 다시 찾아가는 방식으로 제작하며, 건조를 마친 유닛들도 자유롭게 구성하고 조립함으로 크기나 표현 방법이 마지막 형태를 결정하는 순간까지 작가의 감각과 즉흥적인 긴장을 표현하고자 합니다.
So the solution I found is to cut out small images from a board and use them as units to form a larger image. Thus, this act includes an element of improvisation. Up until the final product is achieved, the artist applies her own sentiments and the tension that arises from the spur of the moment. Thank you.
Okay, next one is Lee Jae-jun. Okay.
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Lee Jae-jun. I majored in ceramics at the undergraduate and graduate school of Hongik University and have been an artist for more than 30 years. When I was a student in the 1990s, it was popular to educate Korean universities with a formative approach rather than crafting. I was more than interested in sculpture than practical or functional vessel and mainly worked on human-based work. I mainly make a sculpture of human figures on a scale of 1 meter to 5 meters using coiling techniques, and they contain message about the beautiful coexistence of nature and humans. Since 2020, it has been presenting ceramics facade work with a geometric design on the theme of nature. From now on, I will proceed in Korean. Please translate for us. 다시 말해 저는 지구상의 다양한 생물들의 생명 가치와 그 소중함을 주제로 공예적인 메커니즘을 기반으로 한 조형 작품을 만듭니다.
So I talk about the various forms of organisms on Earth and the preciousness of their existence.
한편으로는 자연의 추상적 이미지를 형성하여 흙으로 빚고 드래곤 이미지들을 유기적으로 연결시킴으로써 건축물 외부에 자연의 순환 구조를 갖게 하는 대규모 파사드 작품을 수행해오고 있습니다.
So I am inspired by the abstract forms from nature and apply them to these gigantic facades that are found on the surfaces of architecture.
저는 조형 작업을 통해 흙, 불, 연기라는 물질의 생명을 부여하고 인류와 다른 생명체 간의 올바른 관계 회복과 동행에 대하여 이야기합니다.
So through my work, I imbue life into previously lifeless forms and also talk about finding the right relationship between different types of organisms.
다른 형식의 작업들은 한국의 도시 건축에 있어 새롭고 전위적인 예술적 시도들로서 작가의 예술 철학을 퍼블릭한 공간에 확장시키는 역할을 합니다.
Through these types of avant-garde artworks, I try to convey my own ideas and expression onto a public space.
현재 팬데믹이라는 전대미문의 사건은 이전에 우리가 당연시했던 모든 경험을 무용화시키고 평범한 일상의 삶을 파괴하고 있으며 인간과 인간, 인간과 사회 등 관계 기반의 사회 구조를 서서히 무너뜨리고 있습니다.
Because of the advent of this pandemic called COVID, it has rendered completely useless all previous interactions that we used to enjoy in everyday life. And thus we are forced to rethink upon our mode of existence and the relationships.
이번 전시에 출품한 나의 두 작품은 현재 이러한 상황 속에서 관계성 회복에 대한 생각으로 제작된 것입니다.
So the two works that I submitted onto this exhibition are based on my reflections upon reconciliation or the recovery of lost relationship.
소년과 송아지가 있는 작품은 흙이라는 재료가 주는 따스함과 그들의 제스처를 통해 인간과 다른 생명체 간의 관계 회복에 관한 이야기를 하고 있습니다.
So the work that you see, which depicts a boy and a cat, is created using soil, and through the warmth that is depicted by the material, I try to convey a message of recovery of relationship between humans and other organisms in nature.
2014년 인도 남부의 첸나이에서 폰티체리간 49번 국도변에서 본 목동과 송아지와의 모습이며 아름다운 뱅과할만 풍경과 그때를 기억하면서 만든 것입니다.
So this work is particularly inspired by one of my memories that was from India in 2014. I spent some time in the southern India, especially near the 49th highway. Then I saw a scene involving a shepherd and a calf, and the beauty and the beautiful scenery of the Bengalman really inspired me and was carved onto my memory. So this work was made by through reminiscing upon that time period.
그리고 마지막에 보았던 금속 파이프로 만든 작품은 파이프가 가진 선과 선의 결합과 그를 통해 나타나는 기하학적 구조를 인간과 인간, 인간과 사회, 그리고 인간과 자연 등 서로 끊임없이 연관되어지는 관계성에 대한 이야기를 다룬 것입니다.
So the other work that you saw involving metallic pipes is a work that was created fairly recently during my residency program at a corporation. It especially focuses on the notion of lines, and through the combination of lines, the geometric shapes in the structure portray these different relationships that are found in society, whether they be between humans and humans, or between humans and society, or between humans and nature. So all of these complex network of relationships are projected in my works.
인간은 관계를 통해서는 존립하기가 어려운 존재입니다.
We humans cannot exist outside of relationships.
변화와 발전의 주체가 개체라고 보던 시대가 있었지만 20세기 중반 이후는 개체 중심에서 관계로의 사고의 전환이 강조되고 있습니다.
Once people used to think that the agent of change and development used to be individuals. However, since the 20th century, since the mid-20th century, we have changed from an individualism, individual-centered philosophy to relationship-centered philosophy.
저는 주체와 비주체, 형태와 구조, 안과 박 등 이러한 이분법적인 사유로부터 나오는 수직적 작품보다는 미종적 사유의 수평적이고 순환적인 관계성을 가진 작품을 지향하고 있습니다. 감사합니다.
Instead of using a philosophy that is based on a dichotomy between agent and non-agent, between form and function, or between inside and outside, I instead try to focus on a philosophy that is based on rhythms, which is horizontal, interconnected networks of relationships and nodes. And this is my overall direction that I try to imbue in my works. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next session is Kang Kyung-yeon and then Lee In-suk. Kang Kyung-yeon is showing the sculptural work. Now she is showing the three different work: unseen blue woman, and not anyone's hand, voyage the sky, and last one is a daydream beyond the horizon, the woman who sees world. And then next, In-suk. She presents the same title, Urban Jungle, or Kia 1, 1, 2, 3, and both artists working on sculptural work, and especially In-suk focus on casting process. So let's see the video. Okay. 강경이 먼저 시작해 주시죠. 네.
네, 안녕하세요. 만나서 반갑습니다. 이번 전시 참여작가 강경현입니다.
Hi, I'm very pleased to meet you. My name is Kang Kyung-won, one of the artists participating in this exhibition.
저는 세라믹을 주재료로 작업을 하고 있습니다. 여기에 나무, 철판, 철사, 철망, 아크릴 페인트, LED 혼합 재료를 함께 사용하기도 합니다.
So my works are mainly based on using ceramics. I also occasionally add the materials of wood, metal, mesh, acrylic paint, LED, and mixed media.
지금까지 저는 작업을 시각적으로 구성할 때 여성의 이미지와 여성적 내용을 담은 대상들을 입체 형상이나 부조로 표현하여 바닥, 벽면, 공중에 설치하는 방식으로 진행해 왔습니다.
So up until now, when I try to visually construct a work, I have used the method of conveying the image of females or gender-related subjects onto these 3D images or relief sculptures, and then installing them upon the surfaces or in mid-air of the spaces.
제가 몰입해온 주제는 여성입니다. 좀 더 구체적으로는 여성의 실존에 관한 것입니다.
So the topic I want to focus on is females or women, more specifically the existence or reality of women.
저는 한 존재가 살아가는 현실 세계를 지탱하는 원천이 보이지 않는 세계인 몽상이며 이 둘의 관계가 마치 하나의 원이 그려지듯 연결되어 끊임없는 순환의 과정을 거친다는 가설을 통해 작업을 진행합니다.
I believe that the source of support for an individual living out in reality is indeed based on fantasy or memory or reverie. And the relationship between these two is like that of a circle that is constantly drawn and connected together, that goes through a process of circulation. Based on this hypothesis, I direct my works.
어떤 존재의 보이지 않는 부분은 대상의 이면에 자리하고 있는 것, 외부에 즉각적으로 드러나지 않는 면을 말하는데 외면과 내면을 함께 바라볼 때 그 존재가 구성되는 방식을 온전히 이해할 수 있게 된다고 생각하고 있습니다.
So when you look at an individual or an object, there is a side to that object that is not immediately seen to the viewer. So I focus on this aspect that is not seen, that is not perspicuous. However, the only way we can truly appreciate the wholeness of this object is to look at both the inside and the outside of this object.
제가 생각하고 있는 보이지 않는 것이 뜻하는 바는 1차적으로는 눈의 감각적인 자동 반사를 통해 수렴된 대상 또는 사건들이며 더 나아가 한 존재에 내재되어 있는 인식의 과정을 통해 드러나는 것들을 말합니다.
So according to my interpretation of the unseen, there are two meanings to this. First of all, it's a collection of the sensory inputs through the reflex of the eye. And second of all, it is a combination of perceptive processes that are instilled within each human being.
저희 모든 작업을 관통하는 메시지는 치유와 성장입니다.
All of my artworks are penetrated by a single message, which is healing and growth.
심리적 공간에 존재하는 또 다른 자아와 대면하는 동안 존재는 자신을 이해하고 스스로 치유함으로써 현실을 살아갈 힘을 얻게 됩니다.
So when you confront an alter ego or another ego within a psychological space, you are able to truly understand yourself and heal yourself, and thus finding the strength to live out your reality.
자신의 내면과 현실을 순환시키는 과정이 주는 순기능은 이 시간을 통해 스스로 성장해갈 계기가 마련된다는 점이고 이것이 제가 작업을 지속하는 이유이기도 합니다.
So this then is the reason why I continue my work, to provide an opportunity for you to circulate your inner mind versus the reality. Through this positive benefit, you are able to garner the strength to grow and to develop.
이번 전시를 준비하면서 그동안 몰두해왔던 작품 콘셉트로부터 범위를 확장시켜 현 시대의 상황과 인류의 어려움을 돌아볼 기회를 가질 수 있었습니다.
Through preparing for this exhibition, I was able to expand my previous repertoire of concepts and thus look upon the current problems that we face today, problems involving humanity.
지금 우리는 모두 힘든 시간을 보내고 있습니다. 작품을 통해 제가 전하고자 하는 치유와 성장의 메시지가 어려운 시기를 극복해내고 있는 사람들에게 조금이나마 용기와 희망을 전하게 되기를 희망합니다. 감사합니다.
We are all going through a difficult time right now. It is my sincere hope that through my artwork, I succeed in conveying a message of healing and recovery to those people who are in difficult circumstances, and thus to convey courage and hope. Thank you.
Okay, next one, 이인수.
안녕하세요. 이인숙입니다. 저는 일상의 기억과 감정을 기록하듯 사물을 수집해 오고 있으며 그것을 석고 몰드로 제작하여 제가 말하고자 하는 언어로 사용합니다.
Hi, my name is Ian Suk. My method is collecting the diverse array of experiences and memories or sensations from daily life, and I transform them into a mold.
이는 동시대를 살아가는 사람들과의 공감할 수 있는 소통의 언어가 되리라고 생각하고 있습니다.
I hope that this will be an effective instrument to provide communication with contemporary audience.
또한 언어로 표현되는 사물들을 적재하고 배열하는 작업의 과정은 작품으로 말하고자 하는 개념을 완성해가는 과정과 같은 시간으로 이어집니다.
Also, the method of portraying as well as arraying these different objects that are expressed through the language is delineated by the artist's notion of the artist's message that she tries to convey in her work.
좀 더 설명하면 저는 작업의 프로젝트가 정해지면 첫 번째 쓰임의 용도를 생각하고 그 기능을 주제와 연결시키고 구조를 설계하고 구체적 스케치 없이 당시의 감정에 집중해 형태를 완성합니다.
To be more specific, when the project is determined, I first of all think about how the artwork will be used, and also try to connect the function to the theme. And thus, based on this, I construct the structure. And without a very detailed sketch, I focus on the feelings that I felt during the time to complete the form of that object.
이번 전시에 소개된 작품 역시 이와 같은 과정을 거쳐 완성했는데 조명 작업은 팬데믹이 시작되었던 시기의 작품이라는 특징을 갖고 있습니다.
The same applies to the works that are introduced in this exhibition. Specifically, the lighting works have been started since the beginning of the pandemic.
인종도 나라도 직업도 가리지 않고 삽시간에 퍼지는 팬데믹의 상황을 지켜보며 그것을 이미지화했고 다시 찾게 될 함께함을 그려보고자 했습니다. 감사합니다.
The COVID virus does not discriminate between nations, between nationalities and occupations. Thus, through observing upon this current status, I transform this sensation into an image and try to reach a hope of togetherness. Thank you.
Okay, next time, Mr. Prism.
Thank you so much. We will now move on to the Indian ceramic artist.
Okay.
Starting off with Tripty Patel. Tripty, can you turn on your camera, please? She was trained at the Royal College of Art in London and also at MS University, Baroda. She was awarded the British Council and the Charles Wallace Scholarship, and she has been working with clay since 1981. She moved back to India from the UK in 1997, and her works are in public collections at the Shigaraki Ceramic Sculpture Park, the V&A Museum, Ichon, Birmingham, Bradford, and also the British Council. So may I ask Tripty, please, to share about her concepts and practice. Tripty, over to you.
Hi, hello, everybody. I'm Tripty Patel. It's very difficult to talk about my work in context to what I started with. I started with using clay while I was a teenager, and the idea of existence and the idea of life and the challenges that one perceives in the mind or psychologically living in any culture has always been something that has triggered off my use of the earth and the clay symbolically, because the material represents how it goes through the fire, mainly starting with a very vulnerable soft stage, which is where I as a human being use it malleably to make it speak about the human subject, which is what I use, the human representation also. And it's changed over the decades. My relationship with the use of this material. to the extent that now I use the material itself from a particular place in juxtaposition with the works that I make in clay and fire also. So there is a lot of change over time in this dialogue of existence and the weight of the mind and the living in everyday life, in every culture. The pandemic, of course, adds different stresses to every place and every person today. These are all added pressures and added anxieties. So I still stick to the ethos of speaking through a relationship of the man-made and the material representation of places which I am juxtaposing and using at the moment. The works that I have shown in this show are made, well, there we go, it's nearly over, but it's really very short, a short time for me to speak about the technicality and the material use, which is, there is a lot of depth and meaning in the selection of the materials that I'm using at the moment. So maybe I can speak about it in my future discourses of this exhibition. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tripty. Thank you so much. Moving on, Madhur Sen is the founder of the Blue Turtle Studio based in Delhi. She is a member of the International Academy of Ceramics and the ICAA China. And she's also a trustee of the Indian Ceramic Art Foundation, ICAF here. She studied at the Delhi College of Arts, sort of majoring in sculpture. She's had many solo and group shows in India, Italy, China, and Turkey, and her works are in a lot of major international, sort of collections. So I'll ask her now. Madhur, will you please share, please? Thank you.
Hello, everyone. And thank you, Christine, Moulin, and lnKo Center, Rati Jaffrey, for inviting me for this show. I'm from Delhi. As she said, I'm a sculptor from Delhi College of Art, and for the last 35 years, I've been working in ceramic using potter's wheel to make functional ware, and my closest is a sculptural thing, sculptural forms, and my main theme has always been the living creatures, whether it's animals or human figures. And the theme has always been the the migrant workers. The topic of this exhibition came onto my lap like a, like as if this is I've been waiting for. I love this theme. I love the workers. I love our migrant workers who work for us day in and day out, who make our city so beautiful, make such beautiful houses for us, structures all over our country. But they themselves live in a very, very tight situation. But their resilience, their spirit for life, and their their strength to go on, it inspires me. And I like to portray that in my work. I want to put their soul, their spirit in my clay, which is it's the best medium. I have worked in all kind of material in college, but clay is what I am in love with. I use sometimes I use all techniques. I use the coil method, the slab method, the potter's wheel to infuse in my clay and portray what I feel and I want to communicate. And also another very important part of my work is the animal forms, because I feel that animal world teaches us a lot, and they are our most trusted friend. And yes, I use gas kiln in my studio. I've had the opportunity of working in wood kilns, electric kiln, all kinds of firing techniques, but I have my studio in a residential area, and I have my kiln, gas kiln, which I love, and that's my love of my life. And that's it. And I love teaching. This is my small studio where I make my work. And it's mainly the spirit of these migrant workers, the workers who build our house for every day. And this isolation, this particular sculpture is called isolation, which is very difficult actually to be physically isolated in this COVID time for a lot of people, because space is very difficult for these people. So yeah, there is called conflict, and I get strength looking at them. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madhur. We'll now move to our third artist, Dipali the Rose. She unfortunately couldn't be with us this evening, but if you can show her film, please, I'll just speak about her a little bit. She works out of her Delhi studio, but has been trained at Bharat Bhavan, Bhopal. She taught at the Delhi Blue Pottery Studio and also worked with Takashi Yasuda when she was in the UK. She has been a resident artist at the Jing Design in China and has participated in many group and solo shows at Bhopal, Delhi, and also Mumbai. Dipali has been awarded the National Scholarship and the Junior Fellowship Award, and along with the Crafts Museum grant to research on the traditional Indian pottery of Azamgarh. In her artist statements, she says that her works are actually conceptualized between the material manifestations of an object that is non-representational and is played out sort of metaphorically through surface, texture, and color. This indicates the challenging times that we have witnessed. She says that suddenly the need to contemplate on the punctuated reality becomes evident. The question marks, the commas, the exclamation marks that are in her work remind us of the relevance of self-questioning. In this era of mindlessness of human deeds, she says that such marks stood strong as a mode of resilience, making us make discerning choices with a clearer vision. The physical character of her works, the surface of the works, delineate the conscious manipulation of strange textures of smoky, burnt, and coarse surfaces, which sort of suggest our collective helplessness. And at the same time, a ray of hope comes out that we long to aspire to. So this is the work of Dipali the Rose. Thank you, Vale. We can close the film now and we'll move on to our last artist, Thomas Louis. All right, Thomas, will you turn on your camera, please? He also studied at the NID and is the founder of the Banana Pottery Goa. He has organized and set up studios all over the country in Bangalore, Bombay, and also Pune before finally settling in Goa, where he has been working for the last 10 years. So over to you, Thomas, to please share about your work and also your process.
Thank you, Christine. And thank you, lnKo team, for bringing this together. My concept, like for this project, was actually to nurture and to protect, like as a form of resilience, because resilience doesn't really come like in one shot altogether. It is like a preparatory process that one has to continue doing, so that when such a thing happens, it's not like the onslaught is not like as bad as one could expect. So the sculptures that I've made are using and also I have experimented with this laterite stone, which is like a local stone which even these old buildings over here are built out of. And it's a very porous, permeable, it's like a sandstone kind of a thing that is available, that is found mostly on this southern part of the west coast of India, and apparently also on the eastern coast of Madagascar, on the other side of the ocean. So I think, when the Indian subcontinent finally came this way, it had taken a chunk of that rock along this coast. So that itself kind of tells the story of some sort of resilience. And with this rock, I have tried to combine it with the ceramics and I fired the two together, like in these little boats that are like little sanctuaries, basically, of protected, little spaces of ecosystems, which is like so important if one has to go forward, like with life. So my process, basically hand-built techniques, like I use a gas-fired kiln. My studios, half of it is mostly outside, like under the trees in nature itself. And yeah, like, and that's the process that I followed for this. Yeah.
Okay, Thomas, thank you so much. We'll just see the rest of your film, which shows this fascinating thing of pooling glass, right?
Yes, so I pulled in glass and also along with the stone, and like with a lot of I've layered glazes and oxides so that everything pulls in together, like to form the final pieces of this story. So here in the middle of the boat, you can see the laterite, like with these pools of glass, and it's a very porous material. So like the rock itself, like along with the firings, like it shrinks with the ceramics, and I mean to a certain extent. And I did manage to get like some pretty good results from that particular experiment.
Right. Thank you so much, Thomas. Thank you all. Okay, so that comes to the end of our presentation. I would really strongly encourage you all to please see the exhibition, and we're right now sharing the landing page, which will allow you to enter the virtual exhibition. It will also show you the e-catalog. The e-catalog has also got the artists, contacts, etc. You can very quickly just go through that veil, just the first 1 or 2 pages, just to see the catalog. If you would like a copy of the catalog, please write to lnKo Center. There is a little comment box. Then write and ask them for a PDF. Just to go back to the landing page, when you scroll down the landing page, you'll see, just scroll down, please. You'll see the artist bios, and here's the feedback forms, etc. If you'd like to make inquiries about any of the artwork, please use the comment box for the same, and lnKo will be in touch with you, or else the artist will be in touch with you. So you can see the artist statements, their biodatas, and these are also the process films that we've just shown during our presentation are all there as well, and also all of the artworks. So thank you so much. I would like to open up now the entire presentation to comments, to questions to our artists from our audience. So if you'll all turn on your cameras, please, that'll be great. And if you'd like to raise your hand or just open up your mic and speak and share, we had some very nice comments coming up in the chat. And okay, Nuzat has said, great to be hearing Tripty. So thank you. Thank you, Tripty, for that. And thank you, Nuzat. Ashwini of the Glassmakers Club is here. Would you like to say something about the show?
Yeah, hello everyone, and thank you for inviting me for this, Christine. It was absolutely spectacular. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, so I'm absolutely delighted to see the range and the the incredible work which has been put on display. And I'd love to. I would love to look at this much deeper. I will visit your landing page. I will, sit on every artist. I mean, it is a fabulous collaboration and beautifully curated, and the works are extraordinary. I loved seeing the process works. It really makes us people who are not artists. I am not an artist, but I really support glass making and ceramic making, and I'm really here to support the art. And that's what we do at the Glassmakers Club, which I would love to share with you all in another platform someday. We are here to promote and support ceramics and glass. So thank you all, and please carry on this fantastic work. And I look forward to more associations. Thank you, Christine.
Thank you so much. Snehal had a comment. Snehal, are you there? Would you like to share your comment? She said, excellent artworks by all artists. Thank you, Snehal. So do we have any other comments? Yes, Snehal, there you are.
Yes, yes. I just got into this meeting, and when I actually individually saw the processes, techniques, and just looking at the interacting with the artist individually has been great. Otherwise, we just get to see their artworks and hardly get to see the artists. So I really appreciate all the artists who came forward and shared their whole process and experiences. It's been really nice. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And there was a question to Tehun from somebody who said, how long does it take to complete one piece? Does it need time to set? Tehun, would you like to take that question?
재훈 작가님께 누군가 질문을 하셨는데 그 한 작품을 만들 때마다 시간이 어느 정도 걸리느냐고 그걸 여쭤보셨어요.
네, 아까 채팅으로 답변을 따로 해드리기는 했는데.
So the artist said he replied through the chat.
Hello. Hi, it was me who asked the question and I received a reply from the messages. I am actually a student in lnKo Center. I am only in level 1. I received a mail about this exhibition and I was, for me, this was such a special moment watching this exhibition on live. I was so excited to see the Korean artists and the Indian work, so much so that I showed it to all of my friends and I encouraged them to see, like, this should be seen. People like them should be heard all over, and I wanted everyone to see. And a lot of artists, they caught my mind. I've been thinking about these artworks for days since the exhibition opened up, and I'm truly thankful to the people who arranged it and organized it in such an advanced level. I'm just overjoyed about this whole exhibition. I truly appreciate the artists' works, and I am just overjoyed. I'm so thankful to all of you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Rennie, for that very enthusiastic response. We love it. Let it come. Let it come more, please.
I really loved it actually. Each one person's works I would see and I would be overjoyed, and then another person and another person. Each of these works I wrote down the things that I liked about it and all, but for now I'm at the gym and I can't go back and get the notes. I'm just super overjoyed. Everyone's works were super interesting and intricate, and I understood that it takes a long time to make such delicate details, and the descriptions and the insight, the creativity is just overwhelming and beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. And we also have a comment from Lekha Bhagat. Are you there, Lekha? Would you like to share your comment?
Hi, Chris.
Hi, Lekha.
Thank you for doing this. This is very lovely, and I'm super excited to see the way the whole thing moved, in our on the telephone. Like, the way. For me, it's all very new, but lovely to be here and see everybody's work. And looking forward to other such shows. And looking forward to spending time at the landing page because it's all going too fast for me. And I want to spend leisurely some time quietly with the artists. And congratulations to you for putting it together and your co-curator. It's a beautiful show and we're looking forward to other such ventures. So all the very best to everybody who's participating and to the curators. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Lekha. Thank you. We don't have any other things here in our chat, but we have the links to share your feedback, please, for our audience, and also to follow us on Insta, YouTube, and Facebook. So if you will just copy those links, please. Do you have any last words, Mulim? Any
Yes.
last sharing? Any last sharing that you want to do?
This is really first experience about having this kind of exhibition. So I'm very enjoyed, and then I'm very thanks to lnKo-centric staff and especially Christine. I'm really thanks, and then I'm really thanks to other most of every artist, and then yeah, I can say.
Thank you. We have a last comment from Rashi Jain. Rashi, are you there? I can see your name, but I can't see you. There you are. Come on. Can't hear you, Rashi. You're on mute.
I went through the show really briefly, and it was really nice to go through the videos and hear everybody here and see some familiar faces. I worked with Lee Jae-jun in Chennai and Rati, and brings back memories from that time, and it's lovely.
Thank you. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you so much. So I think if there aren't any more comments, I think we'll close now. Thank you again to lnKo Center, Rati, Vail, Raghu, and Gail. Thanks to all our artists. And of course, a big hug to Mulim for helping